I have taken some screenshots from my channel. As you can tell, I have videos that deal with Apple products, Windows products. I do a lot of videos about audio and video gear, as well as computers. I create my videos because I know it's frustrating to have a piece of hardware or a piece of software that you can't get working 100% correctly. Some of the videos have a lot of views, some of them don't have hardly any views. That being said, if you have a 2019 Mac Pro and you like it, I'm happy for you. I'm creating this video to help stop the hate.
But the only thing that we care about is the Mac Mini. Now, while it doesn't have the word Pro attached to it, it might as well.
While these light bulbs don't have the word Pro associated with them, they might as well. I mean, look, at 75 watts, 10,000 hours, that is definitely a professional light bulb. While you may not know it, if you look at your underwear, the fabric is probably a nice cotton blend. While your underwear may not have Pro associated with it, it might as well. At this point, I'm just kind of laying down a foundation.
This Mac Mini has up to 6 cores. It's got up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. It's got integrated graphics, which is not great.
How are those specs any different than a typical $800 Lenovo computer? Should we attach Pro to all the Lenovo desktop computers?
And Blackmagic just released a new Blackmagic eGPU Pro that has up to 8 gigs of VRAM on the graphics card. So that means that we've got the ability now to connect up to 4 of those to a single Mac Mini.
Thunderbolt 3 does not have unlimited bandwidth. There are a lot of graphics cards that would have a bottleneck using one of those eGPU enclosures. You'd get better performance by buying an inexpensive Lenovo desktop computer and sticking in an RTX 2080 Ti.
The other huge advantage with the Mac Pro for me has been the ability to expand and upgrade internally so everything is self-contained. For me, when it comes to storage, I could never, ever get enough of that. So the first thing I did was pop in this thick boy, the Pegasus R4i. It's not the fastest configuration in the world. You're looking at speeds around 700 megabytes per second, which is definitely fast enough to edit off of.
In one of my videos, I mentioned I planned on buying 4 or 5 hard drives and striping them together in a RAID array. A lot of, I think, Apple users were cutting me down, saying I was an idiot for using old technology. Everybody uses solid state drives now. I bet you the people cutting down my system and giving my systems thumbs down are probably giving Jonathan Morrison's system a thumbs up, even though he's using mechanical hard drives. Let's stop the hate.
But for me, the more valuable aspect is just having that amount of storage internally with the Mac Pro, especially when some of my projects can go into the multi-terabytes.
If you use a Red One camera or even the Blackmagic design camera to freelance videography with, each month you might be going through a good 20 terabytes of storage. 20 terabytes of solid state drive storage would be extremely expensive. That's why people do want to still use mechanical hard drives.
The one thing that sucks though is the only thing that will make noise are the Avid cards within, because they have those little tiny fans. And it's those little tiny fans that are a problem because they create high frequencies. And the high frequency fan noise is the annoying kind of fan noise.
Those comments should prove that Apple should just use generic ATX motherboards, but if you want even more proof, I've got it.
This looks so crap.
While it may look like crap to you, who cares? Who's going to see the inside of your computer case? Are you going to try and serve tea in there to your clients? Probably not. This is why I think it's a complete waste of time for the Apple Corporation to worry about a computer that looks pretty on the inside. When you start using that Mac Pro the way it was intended to be used by installing PCI Express cards, you're going to find out you're going to have wires dangling, which defeats Apple's claim to fame of having a computer case that doesn't have wires dangling, when in fact it will. That being said, the Mac Pro will not be the most quiet computer on the block when you start installing PCI Express cards. I have proof of that as well.
And if you put your machine into sleep mode, the fans start to throttle up to 100%. Why? I don't know.
I've never had a PC that went into sleep mode and caused my graphics card fan to rev out at 100%. That's what can happen when you opt to use batshit crazy proprietary hardware instead of using generic ATX hardware. If you want more proof of this, I have it.
One thing I did notice build-wise is they have this little hold-down clamp for the brackets, and I noticed on one of my expander brackets, the top lip of it wasn't quite thick enough, so it is a little bit loose, even though this is clamped down as far as it can go. So I am going to have to put something in there, like a piece of cardboard underneath the bracket, just to push down on this a little bit harder. The only other thing that really bugged me was these cards, need power. So I had to buy that stupid cable kit, and there's no space for the power cable to come up through this way, but the connector is facing outwards the wrong way. So I had to loop it underneath here. It sort of bends over and loops past the CPU cooler. I don't know. I feel like those power cables should have been the other way.
I want to say that this is the sloppiest fitting PCI Express card I've ever seen in my life. You wouldn't get that kind of slop buying a cheap, inexpensive $400 Lenovo computer. As I stated, I made this video to help stop the hate that came from the implementation of the 2019 Mac Pro. I have so many Apple users trolling my channel, stating that when I build a custom-built computer, I'm just simply throwing parts in a box, whereas purchasing a 2019 Mac Pro is like purchasing a Rolls-Royce or a Mercedes-Benz. The 2019 Mac Pro is supposed to be customizable. To some extent it is, but as you can tell from watching this video, it might be more problematic than a generic ATX computer. A Mac Pro user could claim I'm just throwing parts in a box, but it wouldn't be wise, because I could simply state you're just throwing parts into a batshit crazy contraption. What can I say? Hate comes in a variety of ways. A lot of Mac Pro users will claim that my computer is just a gaming PC, which is a bunch of bullshit, because if an iMac came with an RTX 2070 and an i9-9900K processor, nobody would claim that that iMac is a gaming PC. No Apple user would state that a Lenovo desktop computer should have the word Pro associated with it, but they will say the Mac Mini should have Pro associated with it. The stupidity has to stop. Other forms of hate I receive from people that have a 2019 Mac Pro is the fact that the Mac Pro has 4 Thunderbolt ports. I don't have any Thunderbolt devices right now. I do have the option to add a Thunderbolt card if I need it. That being said, I've always told them to show me a picture of their Mac Pro with all the Thunderbolt ports being occupied. The hate doesn't stop there. A lot of them comment that my computer only has 4 PCI Express slots, which it does. But at the same time, I've done several videos explaining that there's no reason to go out and buy a $450 motherboard if a $140 motherboard will suit your needs. When a Mac Pro user makes those comments, I always want to see the back of their Mac Pro. I want to make sure all their PCI Express slots are full. That being said, Apple isn't giving you those PCI Express slots for free. You are getting charged for those. What can I say, folks? The hate never ends. There's people that claim that my computer doesn't have a 10 gigabit Ethernet port like the Mac Pro. I can always get a PCI Express card if I want and give myself that capability. That being said, with the Mac Pro, you can't have a card reader on it, you can't have a Blu-ray burner, nor can you have hot swappable hard drive bays. I don't doubt that Jonathan Morrison, if he could make use of hot swappable drive bays, probably would. What Apple users need to understand is that PC users don't need to replicate the 2019 Mac Pro. I don't even like the 2019 Mac Pro. That being said, you Apple users have to demonstrate the Apple products that will match my PC, or PCs from Dell, Lenovo, and HP. I'm also getting sick of the hate for Intel from the Apple users. Apple users constantly bitch that it's the Intel Corporation's fault that the new Mac Pro doesn't have PCI Express 4.0. I say bullshit because this is from Newegg's website. You can get computers with those brand new Threadripper CPUs that have the 32 cores and PCI Express 4.0. It's not Intel's fault that the Apple Corporation didn't try and get an alliance going with the AMD Corporation. Apple users can claim the Apple Corporation makes computers for the professional, but that simply is not true. I have proof that it's not true. Over the past 4 years, I've seen 4 female YouTubers switch from using an iMac to having a custom-built PC. The computer itself isn't professional. It's the women that are professional that are using these products. If Apple made products for the professional, these women wouldn't have switched from Mac to PC. All these women did use Premiere Pro, so it was probably in their best interest to switch to the PC. That being said, there are still Apple users building Hackintoshes because they don't like the new 2019 Mac Pro. I know when I made my first video about the Mac Pro, a lot of Apple users claimed it's not for you. Well, the 2019 Mac Pro is not for anybody other than the Apple Corporation. If Apple offered a computer similar to mine with an RTX 2070 and an i9 9900K processor, and they sold it for $1,900, I can guarantee you that computer would outsell the new 2019 Mac Pro, probably 50 to 1. A lot of Apple users would admit my computer is more than enough for their needs. Some of the computers with the 32-core AMD CPUs are being classified as workstations. Some of them are being classified as gaming systems. It's okay. In my opinion, they're all just computer parts. They can both be used for workstations or for gaming systems depending on, what components you add to them. That being said, that gaming system is $6,300. 4 years from now, for $2,800, you're going to be able to get a 32-core CPU gaming system with probably an RTX 4080 Ti in it. I will be the first to admit an RTX 4080 Ti may not hit a bottleneck when using PCI Express 3.0, but an RTX 5080 Ti definitely will. I want to let people know that the brand new 2019 Mac Pro is already obsolete. You're not going to be able to push it beyond PCI Express 3.0, and everybody knows PCI Express 3.0 will hit a bottleneck within about 5 years. I have heard a lot of Mac Pro owners say they're going to use their computer for 8 years. That's not a wise mindset to have. The reason being, if you do freelance video editing work and you do over-the-shoulder editing for a client, your client might have bought their 16-year-old son a brand new gaming system in 2024 and say, hey, wow, your system's got lower specs than my son's gaming PC. Why are you using such old equipment? As I said, in the year 2024 and the year 2025, the 2019 Mac Pro is going to be showing its age. I want to say if after watching this video you have the urge to punch me in the face because you're an Apple user, you should probably take that anger and aggression out on Tim Cook and punch him in the face. I'm not the one that released an obsolete product in the year 2019. I'm going to end this video by stating no one is saying the 2019 Mac Pro does not work. What I will say is that the 2019 Mac Pro is not the computer that every professional wanted. I will say it's the computer that the Apple Corporation wanted. People have to accept the Mac Pro for what it is, not what they want it to be. That being said, there's a difference between trolling and honest criticism.